Okay, so we're going to remove this back panel. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 screws along the back here. These are going to be wider ferrule because they're going into plastic. I believe I noticed earlier that a couple of them had broken mounting posts, which I hadn't seen before, so I'll probably take the opportunity to spin weld those. Check my channel, I've got a whole playlist of using spin welding to fix stuff. Spin welding is you're basically using a plastic rod and a drill, and friction melts the plastic. The plastic rod combines with the plastic on the broken casing, and that combination gives you a much stronger joint than glue. Then we are still left with 2 screws here on this side and 1 screw on this side, and that allows us to take this. I'll come back once that's done. Right, I forgot about a few screws that are needed to detach this from the chassis that extends up here around the power transformer. And I also want to emphasize, if all you're doing is removing the front plastic case so you can get at the meters and all this kind of thing, then the only ones of these screws that you need to remove are these 4 along the bottom. They're the only ones that attach to the plastic case. However, I want to demonstrate the removal of this little cassette, so I need to be able to show you how to remove that little board at least. So additionally, which ones did we not look at? I think this one up here in the top right of the punch-in jack, 1, 2, 3 screws here that are fitting onto metal lips around the power supply. All of those need to be removed if you want to take this board off. So you can see that we've got a few things attached here. The power cable goes into a slot here, so it's not completely attached. The DBX switches, one which turns off and on the entire DBX noise reduction system, and one which just cuts out track 4 so you can use it as a synchronization source. If you needed to thoroughly clean or solder or replace any components on there, then that can be removed. We've just got 2 screws here. Oh, ickety-bickety guys. That then comes away, and then the remote control input and the punch in out also attached to this board. If I just loosen that with a pair of pliers and then turn the rest by hand. There's what's that, graphite? Is that plastic? Not sure, but there's a washer there, and screws either side of this socket. And at that point, this rear panel will come free. So if you need to remove this, your program out, your bus ins, monitor out and effects out are all going through this little board. So quite important signals pass through it. It's attached to this rear panel via 4 little black plastic clips. There's like 4 sort of splaying arms that are built into an inner part, and then the outer part that includes the head has a sort of pin shaft. So if you push on this pin shaft, you're able to pull the pin out from the front, and then these little hand parts at the back close, and then when they're closed, then that part also comes out from the front. So let's see if I can show you that. I realise focus is probably out slightly, but see when I push that pin in, these parts back here splay, so that makes them too wide to come through, and that's how it stays in place. So you have to push the pin through the centre from the back, and that allows them to open. There's 4 of those, 1 at each corner. That's how you'd remove that if you needed to do any soldering. If you do have a problem with signal tracing, you find that the signal's not getting through there, just like giving these sockets a thorough clean, touching up all these solder points with fresh solder has fixed that problem for me in the past. You can see that each one of these little daughter boards that has the RCA and jack socket and the inserts and the tape outs and so on, that's held both with one of those little plastic clips. Also you need to remove one of these jack socket nuts as well.